the black family was together.
That's right.
During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people always have been conservative-minded, but more black people voted conservatively. And then H.E.W., Lyndon Johnson, and then you go down that road, and now we are where we are.
I'm sorry.
Indeed, indeed. Your eyes and ears do not betray you, Simone. That was Republican Congressman Byron Donalds of Florida romanticizing the Jim Crow era last week. His remarks met with swift pushback from Democratic leadership, but the congressman says his words were taken out of context. Last night, Donalds joined our colleague, Reverend Al Sharpton, for a debate on the matter. Take a look.
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. But look, you were born in Brooklyn. You went down into the South, went to Florida State. You have an interracial marriage. You're the congressman of a district that's not a black district. I mean, how can you even live with yourself acting like Jim Crow was a good era or better era for blacks? What happened to you?
Okay, that's real cute. That's real cute. I did not say that. And I'm not going to sit here and have to insinuate that against you, because right now you're lying about what I said. I did say Jim Crow. I did reference it 3 times. That's not to say that it was better. I never said that. Those words never came out of my mouth. When are you going to get that through your skull and everybody else's skull? I never said that.
I just would like to know who he was talking to when he thought that he could speak to Reverend Sharpton like that. I just want to know who he thought he was talking to. But I'm going to sit back and I'm going to cede the ground to the chair.
My question is, I mean, if we play the tape coming in again, he said during Jim Crow, blacks
families were together.
Black families were together. Now
they were.
They were
in subjugation. I mean, like, yes,
because they were segregated.
In oppression.
That's why they were together. Look, brother, all you had to do was, you know what? I don't know why the hell I brought up Jim Crow in that statement. That was my bad. That was not what I was trying to contextualize at the moment. But here I am, and I now have to make it clean and clear it up, right?
That's what he should have done.
No, you don't double down on Jim Crow, bro. You just don't. And you can't convince black people or anybody else that we were better off in a segregated society where your behind wouldn't even been allowed in Congress, and certainly would have had some questions about who you socialized with. So look, black folks, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, you just got to keep it real about what we went through. Right? What our parents and our grandparents went through. I grew up in Washington, D.C., which was still segregated. My mama couldn't take me to certain parks in D.C. because of Jim Crow. And yet I sit now where I sit. Despite that, I'm not going to forget that, though, and I'm not going to try to romanticize it and pretend that somehow my mama and I were better off when she couldn't take me to that park. So just stop it. I mean, and especially black Republicans, stop this crap. Just be honest about it. I mean, damn.
I'm curious, Simone, if you thought that message was for black Americans, or you thought that message was actually for white Americans who want a permission structure.
Exactly. Alicia, I'm looking to be like, well, who was the damn message for? And I'm sorry to curse on a Sunday morning, Lord, but it was... I was having a conversation with someone this week about, black engagement, black voters, the diversity of sentiment among the African-American electorate, especially as we talk about like black men, but also black women. You know, black people are not a monolith. No group of people of color are a monolith. And I believe that we need, Republicans. I believe that we need independents. I don't think everybody should be a Democrat or a progressive in this country. I mean, I still tend to think, my father's no longer with us, but I told him once, I was like, I think you're a Republican, and you just telling me you're an independent voter. So my daddy was a 64-year-old black man from Mound Bayou, Mississippi. So that being said, yes, like there's a diversity of sentiments, but I just think people need to be honest about history, about what has happened, about what we know to be true. And when you conflate history and you do not speak the truth in order to twist yourself up into a pretzel to appear more palatable, because that is what Byron Donalds was doing. He was trying to not romanticize, trying to sanitize, trying to whitewash Jim Crow. So his message seemed more palatable for people who do, not black people, but for everybody else. And I just do not respect people, especially people who know better. We talked about Marco Rubio and Tim Scott, the senators, a couple weeks ago about what they've been saying about the criminal justice system and men of color and so on and so forth. Like, as a black elected official, especially a black man, as Reverend Sharpton said, from Brooklyn, who knows better. He has a responsibility to speak the truth. And, you know, as they like to say, well, I'm not, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And
I think that face says it all. All right, coming up on Velshi, Ali's going to be joined by Congressman Jamie Raskin. We're going to talk about Donald Trump's threats of retribution and the dangers of a potential second Trump term.